Em nữa.
In nomine Patris et Filii.
He's not overeating. I know that. Look at
Hello everyone. Thank you for being here today. I'm excited to share a heartwarming story with you titled, The Rainbow Collar Cat. If you enjoy this video, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. Of course, if it's not your style, feel free to skip it, no hard feelings. Now, let's begin the story. It all started one lazy Sunday afternoon when I stared at my pile of craft supplies and thought, why not make something fabulous for my cat? Scissors, glue, threads, and an explosion of colorful cotton balls were scattered across my desk like a mini rainbow had crashed there. My cat, of course, was lying nearby, watching with the suspicious glare of someone who had been tricked before into wearing things that were not cat-approved. Still, I was determined. Piece by piece, I strung together soft, fluffy little cotton balls in bright shades: pink, yellow, green, blue, purple, and even a daring neon orange that looked like it belonged in a circus. The process felt like crafting jewelry for royalty. Except, instead of a golden crown or sparkling diamond, this royal accessory was destined to be a necklace of bouncy, puffy pom-poms. When I finished, I proudly held it up and said, voila, the rainbow collar. The cat blinked at me, unimpressed, as though asking, and what is that ridiculous thing supposed to be? But I was already imagining him strutting through the house like a superstar, each pom-pom bouncing like a tiny fan cheering for him. With the patience of a saint, I gently slipped the collar around his neck. To my great surprise, he didn't immediately run away. Instead, he froze. The cat stood as still as a statue, staring into the middle distance, like he was contemplating the meaning of life. I swear I saw him thinking, this is either the end of my dignity or the beginning of my modeling career. Once the collar was secured, the magic began. My cat slowly took his first step, and with every move, the colorful pom-poms wiggled and bounced. It was like a walking rainbow had suddenly come to life in my living room. I clapped my hands in excitement. You look amazing, I exclaimed. He gave me a side eye, the universal feline expression of I am tolerating you right now. But soon, something hilarious happened. My cat began to strut. Yes, strut. With his tail high and pom-poms swinging, he walked around the room like a fashion model on a catwalk, complete with dramatic pauses to lick his paw and pretend not to care. Each pom-pom seemed to add a layer of drama, making him look like the most fabulous contestant in a feline beauty pageant. Naturally, I couldn't resist pulling out my phone. Photos, videos, and slow-motion captures filled my gallery as I documented every fabulous step. If cats could roll their eyes, mine would have done so 1,000 times. Still, I knew deep down he secretly enjoyed the attention. After all, he stopped to pose every now and then, head tilted just right, pom-poms perfectly aligned. Then came the grand moment, the mirror. He caught sight of his own reflection and froze again. At first, he tilted his head curiously, then leaned in closer, eyes wide with what could only be described as fascinated horror. He pawed at the mirror, as if to say, "Who is this fluffy, colorful stranger staring at me? And why do they look so fabulous?" That's when the show really began. He darted around the room, pom-poms bouncing wildly, like a furry rainbow comet. He jumped onto the couch, then the chair, then dashed under the table as though the pom-poms had suddenly given him superpowers. My living room transformed into a stage, and he was both the star performer and the dramatic diva who refused to share the spotlight. By the end of the day, my cat finally flopped onto his side, exhausted from his fabulous runway performance. His pom-poms were slightly crooked, one of them dangling by a thread, but he still looked adorable. He purred softly, as if admitting, "Okay, human, maybe this collar isn't so bad after all." I sat beside him, stroking his fur and laughing at the chaos of the afternoon. Who knew a handful of cotton balls could turn an ordinary cat into a rainbow superstar? More importantly, who knew that such a small, silly project could bring so much joy? The truth is, my cat didn't need a fancy accessory to be loved. He was already perfect in his own way. But the collar reminded me that sometimes, adding a little color, playfulness, and creativity into life can brighten not only the day, but also the bond between us. It wasn't really about the pom-poms. It was about the laughter we shared, the silliness we embraced, and the memory we created together. As he drifted off to sleep, pom-poms rising and falling with each tiny snore, I realized that my cat had taught me something important. Life doesn't always need to be serious. Sometimes, we need to be brave enough to wear the rainbow collar, to strut like a diva, and to find joy in the ridiculous. Because in the end, happiness often hides in the simplest, most colorful moments. And so, the rainbow collar became more than just a handmade accessory. It became a symbol of joy, creativity, and the unspoken agreement between me and my cat. That life is better when it's a little fluffy, a little silly, and a whole lot more colorful. In real life, the story of the rainbow collar cat reminds us that joy often comes from the simplest acts of creativity and playfulness. Just as the cat didn't truly need the colorful pom-pom collar to be loved, we also don't need grand achievements or expensive possessions to feel valued or happy. What really matters is the effort we put into creating moments of lightness and connection with ourselves, with others, and even with our pets. In our fast-paced, achievement-driven society, it's easy to forget that small, silly, even unnecessary projects can provide real happiness. Making something by hand, laughing at imperfections, and embracing the ridiculous can act as a refreshing pause from stress and seriousness. The cat's transformation into a fabulous rainbow diva is a playful reminder that we should sometimes let go of self-consciousness and enjoy being a little dramatic, a little bold, or even a little silly. The advice here is simple. Don't underestimate the power of play. Whether through art, hobbies, or shared moments of laughter, allow yourself to bring more color into your daily routine. After all, like the cat in his rainbow collar, we shine brightest when we stop worrying about dignity and start embracing joy.